Mr. Eventuarry. And all the show with the
He's grown.
He's grown, eh?
Yeah, he's grown.
Yeah. On your young sir.
On
your young sir. Okay, so Mr. Eventuarry is another internet sensation. We were all here when a video of a young guy, why am I still saying a young guy? When a man was seen pushing a taxi, speaking some crooked grammar. Eventuarry for the vanishing and blah, 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 blah. And boom, guy is everywhere. He was flown into Nigeria over the weekend for a gig. I hear he's also going to be part of the cast for Mokola and KJTR series on TV and again on social media. We are also monitoring him doing this and that. So many activities. I hear he's even an ambassador for something like that. Now, we want to do this discussion based on the stories of people like Super. Yeah, I hear he released a new song last Saturday. And we have to listen to that song. I hear Super released a new song last Saturday. When Super also came up, he was all over. He was being invited to here and there. He was even invited to join Sarkodie on the stage. Sarkodie was talking about, I need a feature with him and blah, 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 blah. Today, when you meet Super and you start talking to him, he tells you so many things. Now, I suspect maybe Mr. Eventuarry was surviving on his taxi business or his transport business. Because of fame and the introduction of the media space, he is now, obviously, he can't pay attention to the taxi. He can't pay attention to the taxi. He would have to travel here, fly in here and there. The discussion I want us to have is, should he leave all these things and the industry hailing him left, right, center, if in the next month or two, they leave him behind? What will be of him? Which will what?
Which will eventually happen.
Maybe his will not happen. But then I want us to discuss this. In fact, we are happy for him. We are happy for me. Yesterday, I saw some pictures being shared by one Kelly of GH1. I saw pictures. He was actually rolling with all the big stars in Nigeria. Flying in maybe some good seats in the aeroplane, sleeping in one of the expensive hotels in Nigeria and all that. So yeah, Charlie, life is good. But obviously, I see attaching maybe our parkers here and fame kakra caught neighbor or neighbor. And Crawford in check near jealousy. So if in the weeks ahead they all stop following him here and there, maybe a series of coach we. Obia who the obey and it's obey. You don't know what is going on. Or you know you're not who she be ma a day be the basi. According to the tip available to us, this was the only thing we have from him when he went to Nigeria. Maybe he did more that we have not gotten yet. Eventuarry. So what will be the plans to sustain him in the business for a longer time or a longer duration? Chief Charles, I want practical steps. In fact, we are doing this so that if he is listening or someone who is very close to him is listening, the person can also guide him. In the case of Super even had managers who understood the industry. At least I can mention two names. Super had Ajeze and he had Fifi Adinkra. These two guys were managing Super. In fact, they started well. It was going well. All of a sudden, boom, Super was nowhere to be found again. So now that we have a new internet sensation in the person of Mr. Eventuarry, what are the sustenance plans? Very, very practical, Chief. If you can help me, let's do this.
Sammy, Eventuarry for vanishing. And I think his biggest hallmark is his iconic laughter. You know, the ha ha ha. But I would have wished that Arnold's 36 karat gold laughter would have blown bigger than his. But that's one of the things the internet does. You know, creating instant phenomenon. And he's one of them, you know.
There should be sustenance ways.
So yes, you say. So I'm developing my my points. So it's one of the things the internet does. More often than not, this Eventuarry guy, I'm not sure, set out to be a comedian. Perhaps it is his natural lifestyle or a lack of enough education that will make him say Eventuarry or for vanishing. You don't know why he's going. I don't know if it's deliberate, but maybe it is just his natural lifestyle, a way of making himself happy that was discovered by someone and eventually, got blown and it became big. Which for me means that he has not honed his skill as a comedian. And
But
so,
did he even ever say he was a comedian?
exactly. So, but who is he now? He's in the public space now as a comedian. Now he's getting on Mokola and Kejetia, to do his vanishing thing and to provide basically comic relief. That's what he's selling right now, unless you disagree with me. And so you can comfortably cast him in the light of a comedian. And for me, his skill as a comedian is not honed. He's not trained. He's just been shot to limelight. So definitely there's going to be a sustainability issue. Like you rightly said, where will you go from there? You don't know why it's going on for vanishing, Eventuarry and all that. What next for him? That's the question. If it were in abroad, perhaps he will have script writers, people who can study him and, if you like, create a character, a sustainable character for him, either in the Mokola or whatever series, or maybe develop his own TV series or even movie, so that there's constant flow of his characterization, so he can sustain it. I don't know if that can be done in Ghana, or he has managers who are willing to do that for him. Otherwise, he may lose steam soon, and like you're saying, his relevance may die off. But if his relevance dies off, he may die off not making enough money. Look, we're in this country and we know what pertains in this country. For him himself, I'm not even sure he imagined that there was going to be an occasion where he will be so important, where he'll be flying to continent. And sometimes when these things happen, you are trapped sometimes in still thinking small. And people can take advantage of him. Maybe look, for all his life, he has never even seen perhaps 10,000 Ghana. They could fly him for a gig that can pay like $10,000 and can throw some chicken feed to him. And to him, he may be big. So you'd realize that maybe for all he does, he's getting something very small. And if the shine dies off, he may not have gathered enough or saved enough to be able to sustain the newfound stardom. And that brings its problems altogether. But in going forward, practically, for sustainability, like I said, maybe if he has a script writer, someone who can study his character and build a character for him, for TV series, for perhaps commercial endorsements. I shudder to think if it's possible that products may like to associate with his brand. Because for me, the fundamental problem I have with his brand is, what are we doing? Are we normalizing lack of
Grammatical errors.
Are we normalizing it? That when people, are thrust into the public space and they don't speak good grammar, or they speak the grammar in their own way, then the person becomes a star. So what exactly are we putting across? So I'm still struggling to, apart from the comic relief he provides, what then does he stand for?
Okay, thank you so much, Chief Charles. So I'm sure one point I picked from your submission is that he should get a team who will be scripting for him, so that he can have something to do from time to time. That is a good point there. Very, very practical. And we're still talking about Mr. Eventuarry and whether there is any plan of sustenance for him, because we don't want what happened to Super to also occur to him. We don't want it at all. Now, Super is still going out and about. You see, I cried Nebona Bafom. See, Super Nebona Bafom was the first, you know. Now Nebona was through more. Because the hype, you know, the Steph London in there, reference to Obasa Super. But is he already a Super? This is his latest song. Oh, Super. Arnold,
my son.
Your best friend.
Super.
Anyway, so let's continue. So, what are the practical ways to help this man as well? No, is Super now having a management now?
Super, yes, he has Ebo. Ebo is his manager.
A new manager is in.
Yes, he has a new manager.
Who is Ebo? Do we know him in the game? Or he's
not your loud
okay.
industry person, but you know he's around the games.
Okay, cool.
You know they put together this tune for him, and I think this is a hit song if he promotes it. Good material. So now this is it for internet sensations. Most of them did not plan to become famous. Most of them did not even see it coming. Perhaps they were going about their normal lives and then the fame just comes. So there's no proper preparation to keep them in. Now, what keeps you going as a brand is what you have to offer. You know, what you have to offer the people. And the thing you have to offer the people must be something that's sustainable, something that you can continually offer them. The more you offer, the better your chances of being relevant and the better your chances of staying in the game. When the thing you offer finishes, if you haven't built a strong brand, you will die with whatever you brought. That's how come some of them die very early, because let's say Eventuarry, for instance, assuming all he has is Eventuarry, for how long would you listen to Eventuarry? Somebody will come with maybe Eventuarry or something else, and then that one also takes over. This morning, Chief was saying that of late, news don't last. Actually, 2 weeks. These people come as part of the news, and they are treated as the news. So when it dies off. So what keeps you going is your life after the news is dead. What else you offer? Like Patapa. Patapa could have been dead when one corner, dance died. But you see, he had something else to offer. You know, that's going to keep him sustained in the game.
When you think he's going down, then he'll come with Scopa to Mana.
Scopa to Mana. Something new keeps popping up. And that is what is keeping him. The time or the day he gives us the last jargon, he probably would go with it. So you constantly have to keep giving the people something.
Tafrimu.
You know.
Tafrimu.
You see, so you keep giving the people something. And it applies to some of these, already established acts. We forget them because we are looking out for the next thing. And for these people who didn't plan, who don't have management, who perhaps do not have catalogs of songs, or maybe if so act and so honing skill nama oman ro bia or timifiti ina, it becomes very easy for you to be disposed. It nearly also happened to Calibos and Patri. They blew with comedy, and when we accept you for one thing, it sticks.
That was the Boys Casa series.
When we accept you for Eventuarry, all we want to see from you is something Eventuarry like. When you try changing it and you're not smart about it, we won't accept it and you still die off. It got to a point, people were still asking Calibos and Awofe, why aren't they doing Boys Casa? They should go back to what they are known for. If Kofi Asama had not been strong and kept pushing them, in the eyes of people with his mainstream movies, these guys would have been dead long time. So you don't blame them for not having something long or longer lifespan to offer, because they did not plan. This is where a team comes in. And the team must have something to work with. If the person is not one that you can work with, no matter how hard you try, he won't be sustained. Let's take Eventuarry, because he's the one we're talking about this morning.
Exactly.
What else have we discovered about him apart from the and the Eventuarry? Like, what else? Can he be a musician? Can he be an actor? If yes, can he be trained to become a very good actor such that he will keep giving us acting acting jobs, or he will keep being employed to do acting jobs, and then we'll keep seeing him. If he can't be an actor, he can't be a musician or anything around the arts that people can accept, he will probably go back to the taxi life. He'll probably go back to the taxi life, because the truth is the Eventuarry and why is going on won't last forever. Yeni Cromway na obi can say Chia. One I can't Chia. Who said Chia? Who said Chia came in today? When you say who said Chia, nobody cares about it.
Lil Wayne even introduced some grammar like that.
Lil Wayne's own Dempo.
That's I care now.
No, there was a bigger one.
There's a bigger one, yeah.
I can't think far.
I can't think far
became talk of town. Ministers were using it. You know, everybody, presenters down to actors. Obia UCB. Eventuarry will go. Will go. You know, you see, all those ones to go. But after they are gone, what else do you have to offer? What else do you have to offer? The extra thing you offer is what really sustains you, and not what really introduced you. Because what introduced you is not something you actually planned. It's just a few of them that survive with a planned stunt or planned breakthrough. Most of them were perhaps going about their normal duties. Somebody took their phones and recorded them, and boom, it caught fire. So now that it's caught fire, even if you script for him and people get to know that this is being scripted, they won't take it.
It is true. It is hard for them to follow the script.
It's hard for them to follow it. In fact, loyalty, what sustained loyalty is the fact that people thought that's how he really is, and that's how he really speaks. When you break that mysterious perception around it, that myth that surrounds it and makes it surreal, difficult for people to understand. When it breaks, then people say, I say, "Utwa daddy." And then it becomes difficult for people to really vibe with it. They want to feel it natural. Hey, on their side or castle, and they want that conversation to go on. When that conversation keeps going on, that's what sustains you. And if you have a lot of that to offer, you realize Lawyer had a lot of it to offer, and the Makola series sustained him, because every week you're looking out for something new to come out from him. In fact, the day he stops giving us those funny things and wants to be prim and proper, the brand dies.
Now, the introduction of Mr. Eventuarry into the Makola and KJT thing. Do you think it is a safe idea?
Just a quick fix. I mean, it's a quick fix. It will last for a minute, because if Inti, he's coming to replace Lawyer Inti.
So I hear.
Yes, if you compare Lawyer Inti's way of acting and the things he does to Eventuarry and the ha, one is stronger, bigger, and more intriguing than the Eventuarry and the ha. Because the way that guy speaks and the way he goes about the English language throughout.
And Arnold, you see, these things, they also go with a little bit of intelligence.
Yes.
People think that if you are fooling, you don't need intelligence. You need intelligence to be fooling for a longer time.
I'm telling you.
Ask Jerry behind you.
I'm telling you.
Are you saying Eventuarry?
No, he hasn't said that. It's a point he just made, that you need to be intelligent. Okay, good. So you need to be intelligent.
So what was Chief Charles going to do?
I don't know. Trying to make it look like you're saying the other guy is not intelligent. I don't know. Yeah, I mean pen. One correct penna among factors. Good. And you know, you need intelligence. It's very key. So that makes you able to bring out new words that make people feel like you are. That's how you are. The more they feel that's how you are, that's when they vibe with you. Calibos, they thought that's how dumb he is, because he acted dumb in Boys Casa, and people expect him to be dumb every day. Are you getting it?
And he mastered it too.
And he mastered
when
it.
When he meets people,
and that's intelligence.
Some funny way. Yes.
You have to keep giving them what they know you for. And when Patri, folks didn't even know she could speak. And anytime she speaks, they are surprised, because what made them know her, she wasn't speaking in it. Antics. And she also mastered it. Until you master what you have and you have a lot of it to offer, you won't last long. Eventuarry, why is going on? What else does he have in line, like, in the group of the things he said? People will forget Eventuarry and why he's going on within 2 weeks. So it is time for them to sit him down.
Because on the Nigerian platform, it was the same thing he was
1 minute. I also asked the same question. I'm happy he's a Ghanaian and he's gone that far. but I'm not happy because it was too small.
I've seen a poster of him going for interviews on radio.
Conversation, you be creative questions now, my conversations now. But what else do you have to offer? I was say can you do what is going on for 3-5 years? No. So sit him down, find out what else he can do, and get him to make it natural. I wish people don't even know somebody scripts anything for him. When they get to know, says Charlie, what dilute no, and and no, so sustainability is going to be a bit difficult, but if they get the right things to do, or we shouldn't even expect too much from him.
Okay, thank you so much. Arnold Mason Levanyo Vibes in 5 and Link Up Reloaded. Let me read this from brother Ken Anado from Media General, and he says, Sam, sustainability is issue. It is good you guys are discussing this. However, it is about branding. He has to be positioned such to place a better value on him. His acts have to be staged and produced well to help him sustain interest and bring variety on the table. Truly, he is just another internet sensation who might just wither away in a short while. The missed blessing of social media, it can raise you and bury you at the same time. Expertise in brand management is needed, but if it is just something that fell in for him too dear. But look, the Nigerians have made a move so swiftly. Let's be on the lookout. Those guys are very smart. When we were talking about Mr. Eventuarry going to Nigeria, someone also asked me that, Sammy, why is it that these Nigerians, there are so many talented young guys here, especially even the comedians, why did they not come for any of them but Mr. Eventuarry? What for? Is it to tease us? Blah blah blah. I said no, I'm not too sure. But it's enough for me. Also, and he says, good morning. The truth is difficult to say, but we need to distinguish between foolishness and entertainment. There is an extra thin line between the two. Let's be careful not to encourage unnecessary things. Patapasta Frimu is nothing to write home about. Okay. Ebenezer Nafum. Showbizpunch.com. That I have to wrap up for me before I read your tweets. So keep them coming at Xylophone 1021 at Sammy Flex. Remember to do it with the hashtag Showbiz Agenda, so you can always be part of the show. Hafko.
Yes, Sammy.
Your views and opinions, boss.
This morning, let me give a big love to Sammy Flex Nation. I understand that they are the people behind the fall down video.
Yeah.
So big love to them. I think over the weekend, my grandma posted a video on her Instagram, and it was like massive. Even a Nigerian entrepreneur picked the video and posted it.
I see.
On the Nigerian page.
I see.
It was very, very big.
They actually went to Chief Walcott's wedding.
Okay.
So it was on the wedding day that the song was dropped, and the whole place went gaga.
Massive love to them.
All right, so big ups, my people.
Yeah.
Sammy Flex Nation.
Yes, Sammy. Most of the internet sensations who get a break from the internet and all, most of them may not be talented. They may not have talent. You see, most of the things they break with are phrases. Just maybe some catchy phrase, be not catchy. You understand? The person may not be like, the person may not have a talent. He was being him. He was being himself, and so it came out. People heard it and they felt like it was funny, so people laughed. It does not mean say, oh, you're talented. It does not mean that he could keep doing it. So when you put even a team behind some of these people, you could do whatever you would do. It won't work.
I see.
Empha. Because the talent is not there.
Is it talent they need?
You see?
To get that sustenance. Is it talent?
Yes, you need to have the talent within you. You haven't realized it. So when the team comes, they pull it out of you. It's like you spotting somebody and saying that this guy, I think he can do this. Me, I came to Plus FM. I came to do a song premiere. Mr. Massive approached me and said, Charlie, I feel say you go feed do panditry.
Yeah.
So I'll put you on our show. And I came in and it happened. So it means that talent was hidden somewhere in me. So he spotted it. Imagine if Odeme show no na menti me anya, if the talent wasn't there na menti me anya, what happens? You understand? So most of these people, no, the talent may not be there. The fact that he has said something that is funny, that people are jumping to it, does not mean that tomorrow he can create another. So when you rush him into the space like that, he will die off eventually. You understand?
Eventually.
He will die of the right way.
You understand? Because sometimes you look at the history of people who have had breaks from the internet. Why don't they move on to become bigger brands? For example, when Super broke out, we came here, we sat here, we said he may not have the talent. So after all the working and everything, when the hype dies down, he will die with the hype. Because people want to see something different every day. If I play Men's Season today and tomorrow I come and play Men's, you will be tired of seeing me. So you need to have something different. And that is where the talent comes in. So if he can produce something different from what he broke out with now, it doesn't work. So for me, I think that the haste of us rushing to bring these people into these spaces. Yeah, I know people always want to use the smart ways of making money and all, because when he's hot, when you bring him, obviously people will pay to come and see. But when we rush them into it, we kill them. Because he's being himself. When you go to stations, station, some of these boys plenty. But it doesn't mean that they can act, or doesn't mean that they are comedians. No, that is them being themselves. Somebody will be on table, but when you ask him something in English, he finds a way to try to answer you in English, and so probably in your head you will be laughing. But say be about internet news, and I say people, then we go looking for him, making a star out of him. But it is not talent. It is something that came out of him. Naturally, one often it just came out of him. Does not mean he can produce that successfully, continuously every day. So for me, I think we rush them simply because the way in our industry now, people want to make money. So everybody sit down and feel like, the guy who said that Eventuarry thing, I think that he's Charlie. Let's bring him here. Like I know said, he went to Nigeria. I saw the video. When I saw it, the first thing I asked myself, and I said, you'll be performance now. You didn't to, and I said he had his main time to come in, because it is the laughter and the Eventuarry for the vanishing. That is like less than a minute.
Yeah,
less than a minute. So for what me, when the people were shouting, I felt like maybe there was some comic because baby mumu almost.
No, for the shouting to us, his appearance.
It was his appearance.
Yeah,
fine. But
that was the welcome thing.
Well,
the welcome cheers. So that one you get it.
So okay, fine. Then he was lucky, because that was a strange territory.
Where Shatawale and Stonebwoy could not survive in the same auditorium.
Yeah, so he was lucky. But for me, I think we rush them. When people say things on social media and it becomes popular, it does not mean those people are talented.
Okay, your mama saw me, so what? Your papa saw me, so what? M-O-U-D.
Sorts, but why now said me jaya mean didi. In your dance, and now she's built a brand for herself. Take it or leave it, or like her or not, she's making money off it. In your ding, or so in your ding account, because social media is there for us all. You can walk in and out anytime you want once you have your data. Unlike traditional media that will have some censorship. So we can't be on a platform. His material can't, doesn't fit our platform and so on and so forth. But social media, one fits all. It's open.
Yeah.
Into when near dinner,
break it through.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Let me quickly add this,
Chief.
Let's bear in mind that Mr. Eventuarry may not be an internet savvy guy
himself.
Yes. Remember, the whole thing was posted by someone that got viral. So he may not have the skill to maneuver his way around social media. And for me, that's why it is key that he has a management.
Okay. Some people to be doing that.
To be doing that for him. again, the guy is a taxi driver, and like one of the commenters said, he creates more joke while driving taxi. So if he has a team, like I said, who can script maybe some series that involves his taxi driving, create some social media series for him while driving taxi and creating his
and
jokes
the issues in
taxi and so on and so forth. So if
like we had for TT
and so on and so forth. So like I said, if the whole thing will boil down on the kind of management he has and the fact that someone is able to characterize him. Because that is what all acting is about. Get into character and get out of character. So if the people can place him, in the grammatical error kind of a driver, who always causes confusion between himself and his passengers because
and the police
and because his language is not very well understood, it's something that can fly. So for me, the key really is the team that can hold him. And for me, let's not maybe drink the soup before the fufu comes. Maybe the KJT and Mokola thing that is about to debut, maybe they'll be able to do something and it could be sustainable.
Okay, thank you so much. Superstars in the studio: Arnold Mason, Levanya Vibes in 5, Chief Charles, himself a gospel artist, voice coach, and also the manager in charge of asumdead.com that I have called High Life Artist, writer, performer. And I'm also here. My name is Sammy Flex. And remember that next month, that is...